What's up, everybody? I'm back. Let's get right into it.
La música.
Got the Harry Fraud. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's up, everybody?
yeah, yeah,
Imagine being in the club when they play that shit.
yeah, yeah. What? You can hop on my car. Feeling cool, riding with stars. Yo, what? I keep looking like a cop. Hey, yo, she get the top in the drop. Yo, hey, diamonds they wet on my arm. Tats on my neck and my arm. Tats on my neck and my arm. Diamonds they wet on my arm. Tats on my neck and my arm. Diamonds they wet on my arm. Tats on my neck and my arm. Yeah.
But then this bitch going crazy. Oh, Matthew McConaughey. That's how I was, man. Shout out to AMPM Club here in Toronto. The DJ just dropped this out of fucking nowhere, and I was like, I was fucking ascending and shit. This is my joint. I posted this in the community section, but I've never actually heard the song outside. I mean, obviously, I've played it a gazillion times at home, right? Or in the car or whatever. But actually outside here, I mean, I've heard various, obviously, songs off of self-titled. Woke Up Like This and Magnolia, of course, in particular. And even like Lame Niggas I've heard outside. I'm trying to think what other songs people have played. Lame Niggas I've heard once or something like that. But, the tape, again, that's like one of the best things the new era has come out with. I've always said this, but ASAP Rocky and Playboi Carti to me are the best rappers of the new school, hands down. And in a way, they're two sides of the same coin. They're both cloud rap. One is sort of more darker and sort of aggressive and edgy, which would be ASAP, at least when he first came out. And Playboi Carti is more of the fly, sort of relaxed king, sort of majestic. They're both majestic. Again, cloud rap has that majestic vibe to it. They're both pretty boy, right? Pretty boy, fly, glitzy gun bars. It's the same type of thing, right? But one is sort of the lighter, darker side, right? And I think it's brilliant what they've done. Anyway, the point is, this song is classic, and it just feels good. You know what I'm saying? Like, coincidentally, also at the same time I was out last night, or not last night, but a couple of days ago, and they were playing Janice STFU. And honestly, that shit's played out already. Like, when I made my reaction, and you can see it on my channel, to Drake's Iceman, I mean, I was on to something because I liked the song. I don't think the song is bad. It's certainly catchy. Beep, beep, baby, the cadence, all that's catchy, right? And it's funny, right? If I call you Shorty right now and she's picking up, well, there's a little voice in the background. That shit's funny. It's cute. It's catchy. But the song doesn't really hit. Really, I mean, honestly, bro, I've heard this shit in the club now a few times. The first time it came on, like, I don't know, maybe three weeks, a month ago, whatever it was, right? Yeah, people, it's the new track. But now when you hear it, you're like, and no wonder it's kind of, from what I understand, it's not at the number one spot anymore on Billboard because the song doesn't really have that bounce, right? It's a little too boring, right? And that's kind of my problem with it. I wish that they had gotten better. I don't know. I don't know how they would have improved it, or I should say, I mean, I'm not a music producer, but I do think that, just giving my raw opinion, it's something they could have figured out. I think a better bounce, or made the song more active. It's a bit sleepy, and that was kind of my issue with it. Again, good melody, right? Funny bars, but overall the song doesn't quite have the energy. And I think that was Iceman in general, which is why, to be honest with you, it doesn't have any staying power, right? But is it better than what everyone else is dropping right now? Yes. And that's always been Drake's thing. Drake is not stupid. Him and his team. They make better music than pretty much everybody out right now. I mean, including my favorite rappers be ASAP and Cardi, right? Because, I mean, ASAP and Cardi, when they first came on the scene, they made the best music anyone's heard in decades. But, they kind of slowed down. But Drake is more consistent, and this is why consistency wins you the game, right? I've said this a million times, but as a guy that grew up really listening to hip hop heavy in the mid to late 90s, Jay, Nas, DMX, Big, Prodigy, Ghostface. I mean, all these people were, I would say, relatively as ill as each other. You know what I mean? Like, there was no, oh, this person is like so far ahead of the pack. No, there wasn't really that at all, right? Like you were dope as dope. Royce the 5'9", when Royce the 5'9" came out, the first time anyone really heard him was Boom. And you were like, who is this dude? Right? It felt like anyone knew if you were really talented could come out and really spit that shit over a great beat, obviously, and make a great song. But what I'm trying to say is that the people that we now look at as the GOATs, the reason they became the GOATs, yes, some of it has to do with their actual music, the content, the beats, and what they're saying, but a lot of it has to do with just sheer consistency. That's it. They were just consistent. And consistency will win the game, right? You have to at least make that song every time you come out, whether it's an album, you have to make at least one or two songs where people go, oh yeah, that's a return to form, you know? That's what I love about this guy or this chick or whatever. But when you just release several dud albums in a row with no bangers, not one, and yeah, the critics will say it's cohesive, and and the dweebs will say it's a cohesive listen, but none of those songs are getting played, right? You got to come with that at least one or two songs where it's like, I might not like this whole album, but damn, excuse me, miss, what you want me to do? Like, that shit is heat rocks. You get what I'm saying? That's how this goes. So I'm going to touch on this very briefly. But the World Cup madness. Shout out to my man Ignacio. Ignacio, what up, right? Argentina, let's go. Okay, y'all have made me an Argentina fan. I gotta say it, man. I mean, that game was insane. And I love the World Cup in general. I'm a soccer casual, football casual, but I'm not a World Cup casual because I watched the World Cup. I've been watching the World Cup since I was a kid. I, in fact, saw the game 1994. I was in Greece at the time. I was a kid. And I remember we watched Greece play Nigeria. I'm pretty sure it was the 1994 World Cup. So it wasn't like we didn't see it live, but I'm saying like we were at a hotel or something like that and we saw it in Greece, my dad and I. So I've always loved the World Cup. I'm Nigerian. It's in our blood. I mean, these are just things that we grew up with football. It just is what it is, right? But the point is, what Argentina did was amazing, frankly. And really, I looked at it and I was like, man, Messi really is him, like for real, for real. So I can't wait to see what else they do. I think that they've done stellar work, and they've just you can see the passion, the love for their country as they play, and that's what we all want, right? Don't we want to feel proud of our country? I personally, if you want my honest opinion, I think that Team Canada was not very good at all, and as usual, they're making excuses, which I don't like. I mean, I saw the interviews with Jesse Marsh, and he was talking about we were the better team. And I'd rather be us than them when he was talking about losing to Morocco. And I'm sitting there going like, that's insane talk. Like, that's the kind of moral superiority, garbage, hater shit. It's deep hater shit that's going to cause our team to stagnate, right? And let me see if I can find a comment, because Nicholas made an excellent comment here. Because it is a pattern. Let's just be honest. When it comes to Canadian teams, it really is a pattern, man. God damn it. Nicholas, is your comment here? I see you trying to find you, bro. Tether country hating. But we tend to, because there's a lot of hate in Canada, man. Honestly, it really is. There's a lot of hate. Oh, let me see if it's here. Yeah, there we go. Nicholas, my man, says, "That's why I love no pause and respect you, mind you. You keep it 100. I do keep it 100. You know, for the last year, it's been a recurring theme for Canada in sports. When my Dodgers beat your Blue Jays in the World Series, oh, we were the better team. When we beat y'all to take the Olympic gold, oh, we were the better team. And now when Morocco shuts out Canada in the World Cup, oh, we were the better team, right? Same BS, different day, when execution, situational gameplay, and in the biggest moments you flop, right? But this is the whole thing. This sort of moral superiority, like virtue signaling shit, is there to cover up the Canadian elites who fail constantly at certain shit, right? It's not because we're nice or we want to be Canadians is nice. No. That's, again, it's some top-down bullshit, right? Stop making fucking excuses. One thing I respect about the United States, First of all, they're a better team, number one, even though the way they played against Belgium was aye, right? But the thing I respect, at least I haven't taken much of a look at the American media, but I guarantee you that they're like, look, listen, we were trash. They're not making excuses. They're not like, oh, Belgium, they were no. Just straight up, we were trash. And that kind of mentality is going to lead to people doing better. Look at the New York Knicks. People shitted on the Knicks for decades, right? For decades, people shitted on the Knicks. And they weren't even the worst team in the world. But New Yorkers said, nah, that ain't it. And that's the mentality you got to have. It inspires people to do better. But when you say, oh, we're already great, we don't have to improve anything, we're the better team, you think that Jesse Marsh and his peoples are going to actually make sure that they are, in fact, a better team? No. Next time, they'll just not fucking, they'll get to the same place and crash out, or they might not even make it as far. Because if we're being honest, the host nations, almost all of them got really easy teams to start, right? I know Canada did, the USA did, right? To a certain extent as well. So you only made it this far because you're the host and you got easy ass teams. Wait until the next time when you're not the host and let's see how far you get, right? So I'm not really with the excuses. And speaking of excuses, oh man, Egypt showing the world what they're about. Listen, I grew up in Saudi Arabia. You guys know this. And shout out to, you know who I'm talking about. We had some Instagram exchanges and we were both laughing. I have a homeboy in the Arab world who was fucking laughing, right, at this whole shit. Obviously, he's not from Egypt, but he's from the Arab world, and he was just like, he's like, man, Egyptian tears. I feed on Egyptian tears. And look, listen, I went to school with Egyptians, okay? Let me just say this. When I was in school in Saudi, right, and most of my classmates were Arab, right, Arab Muslim to be particular, I started to learn the different stereotypes about the different Arab parts of the Arab world because I'm there, right? So example, like the other Arab Muslims, most of my classmates were like Lebanese and Egyptian, and then a couple of them like some were Jordanian or one was Palestinian who was a friend of mine. And I remember there were a couple of people from Syria. So like people would kind of diss each other, you would hear shit. And people would consider Syrians to be kind of like backwater, like they have some beautiful women, but they're a little backwater. Lebanese are sophisticated, but a little bit materialistic, right? They're the French of the Middle East. They're gorgeous. Their women are the best looking. Blah blah, right? And the stereotype that I sort of was around, and certainly, and I've even witnessed this in reality, but was people would look at Egyptians as they're essentially pussy, right? Pardon my language, but they talk a big one, but when it comes down to it, they'll back out, and they're sneaky, right? Like they'll do shit like gang up on you. Like for example, if they don't like you, they're not gonna come and fight you one on one because they're pussy at the end of the day, right? They'll they'll hide, but when they can catch you slipping by themselves, by yourself, all of a sudden there's 4 or 5 of them, and they're all like, "Oh, we gonna beat your ass, right? Mashallah, all that shit." Listen, I'm just saying what I know, okay, what I've experienced, and they can be sore losers. Okay, again, this is really, in my opinion, some Muslim shit. It's not like it's not innate, right? These behaviors are learned, right? It's a cultural problem. Islam is Arab culture deified in a lot of ways, anyways. But so there's definitely a connection between Arab culture and Islam itself because, well, it's a religion, or I should say, it's a political cult. Not a religion. If you're a religion, why can't you leave the shit, right? You do realize there's apostasy laws in Islam that if you were to try to leave Islam, you're supposed to be killed. It's written. So to me, that's a cult and not a religion. I don't know why they get religious protection, but that's another conversation entirely. The point is this. Those of us who grew up in the Arab Muslim world, we are not surprised by how Egypt is behaving. Not at all. And it's pathetic, frankly. But again, this is just basic shit for us, okay? And believe me, this is not one person. This is not like out of the norm. This is the norm. Okay? You're talking about a team, from what I understand, and I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. That team has no Egyptian Coptic players. Now, a lot of people might not realize, but Egypt is not only entirely Muslim, right? There are Coptic Christians and there are other individuals. None of them, from what I understand, there's not a single Copt on that team. They're all Arab Muslim, right? Or they're all Muslim, let me put it that way. So even in Egypt, they practice their own apartheid, right? But in Egyptian, right, let's just say, and I know some of these Egyptians I've had conversations with, well, by conversations I mean they've been hurling insults at me, but they'll talk all day about Israel apartheid, blah, blah. Meanwhile, in their own countries, they disrespect, kill, maim anybody who's not Muslim, right? The so-called Palestinians that they claim to care about, they have a massive wall, massive, with barbed wire, snipers, and the whole shit. And they're not letting any Palestinian, quote unquote, even cross into Egypt. So again, when the Egyptian coach is talking all this like, oh, we do this for the children of Gaza and people are getting killed whether they have messy jerseys on. It's like, well, why don't you just open the border, my dad? Like, why are you talking to us? Why don't you go talk to your Egyptian leaders? But you're not going to do that because all this stuff boils down to Islam. That's all it is, right? Islam is the greatest mind trick. It's a cult. That's all it is. It's just a way of you attacking Israel and Lionel Mossad. Listen, I'm sorry. Okay, I happen to be a Zionist, Mossad agent, or whatever the fuck you guys want to call me. But the truth is the truth. Okay, you're sore losers. Listen, is there racism in FIFA? Of course there is. Is there favoritism for European teams or European-like teams? Of course there is. I mentioned this in my own post, and people going, some people go, no. I mean, come on, we've seen, we know what it is. Now, with that said, for example, when I talked about the Senegal and Belgium game, ultimately the vast majority, overwhelming fault of that game lies with Senegal. They fucked up, and you got to take accountability for your mistakes, man. That's just what it is. So enough is enough, man. Love y'all. Peace.